time to please Allah, a chance to gain reward. I will spend on you, he says, all on who spend in good cause. Good deeds are opportunities, sparkling bright and true, raising you in the sight of Allah, and adorning al-Jannah for you. So rush to earn his reward, don't forget the oppressed, and when you go to sleep
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Huda TV. Welcome to A Time to Please Allah. As always, live from Dubai, 8 p.m. UAE time, 7 p.m. KSA time. And inshallah, you had a great week this Thursday, alhamdulillah. For us, it's the weekend now, alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
And for some people, it's just the tease of the weekend. You're almost there, you know.
Yeah.
So alhamdulillah, wherever you are in the world, we hope that you had a productive week, inshallah, and that you use your time in serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you want to just kind of catch up with what we've been doing for the past few weeks, you can always check our website, our Facebook page, A Time to Please Allah. Like it, share it, and check some of the previous shows. Our YouTube, I think all our shows are there now, alhamdulillah. And you can share those, and you know, while by you sharing it and liking it, you also get the word out there. People benefit, and inshallah you get some of the ajr bi'idhnillah. We're trying to reach out to a lot of different sectors of the society, young, old, you name it, in between, from different parts of the planet. And we're trying to actually speak about things that are relevant to them. And specifically, in the past few shows, we've been talking about youth issues. And I have today with me, once again, Brother Ayad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you?
Okay, alhamdulillah.
You're a teacher, right?
I am.
MashaAllah. You teach Islamic studies?
Yes, Islamic studies, yeah.
How long have you been teaching for?
Well, in the school I'm teaching for, this is my third year.
Third year, MashaAllah.
Yeah.
How do you like teaching? I'm also a teacher.
Well, at the end of the day, it all depends upon your intention. If you get up in the morning and you're driving all the way to your school just to teach, and knowing you're going to teach Islamic especially, it could be any subject, doing that for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, it will be counted as ibadah. But to me, alhamdulillah, I love it. I love it, just teaching. And I know the thing that makes it beautiful as well is just the fact that I'm myself, I'm not too old, you know, compared to the other teachers.
Old? What do you mean too old?
Well, I'm too old. Majority of the
young,
teachers, well, majority of the teachers, sometimes when you see them, mashallah, in the late 40s, 45, and then they don't have that close relation with the students. You know what I'm saying? For me, I'm close to them, especially Islamic teacher.
Right.
We sit together.
Cool Islamic teacher, right?
No, but definitely.
They want that, you know.
Yes, you have to know how to approach them.
Yeah.
You have to know how to approach them. They're very, very good kids. And it's not only that, it's even in the masjid as well, at the imam of the masjid as well. You get a lot of questions about the youth and about people, how they want to get into Islam. Sometimes their parents are not supporting them. Sometimes the imam are not supporting them, or the teachers are not supporting them, or they're being controlled by the television as a whole.
I mean, if we really want to speak frankly, you know, being Muslim is not that cool, you know. or being practicing Muslim, right? It's like you're kind of like a, you know, even the words that sometimes they use to names are like mutawwa, you know. It's like kind of derogatory, you know. Like he's mutawwa, you know. Mutawwa. Yeah. It's like, you know, it's kind of like
definitely
almost like a geek, you know. He's a geek, you know, in religion. So the way the culture has been molded is that, especially if you're young, right? If you're a youth, and that's what we're talking about today. For our viewers, I think this is a very important show for you parents to call your kids right now and be like, you need to watch this.
Yeah.
You need to listen to this because it's very important. And you also, if you want to call, you can call us and
Share
try
experience.
to, the way the culture has been laid out is that if you're young, it's like, why would you want to waste your time in life right now being religious, you know? Right? And you find, do something else. Play sports or be funny or do something that, would so-called, benefit you, right? And then you can, later on when you're older, go do Hajj, go do Umrah, whatever, all that stuff, grow your beard, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
You have time. But right now, come on, ya ibni, my dear son,
Yeah.
be cool, and sadly, it's us. It's our fault as parents sometimes. You find it starts from young, and we talked about the issue of children before and how to. But when you take your child and you give him a Ronaldo or Messi haircut, and he's wearing, you're buying for them the Ronaldo shirt. They don't know yet, but you're pushing that on them.
Instilling that in them.
Yeah.
It's going to affect them.
And that's what's going to happen. And then when he's like 16, 17, he slaps you silly, or he's going around doing haram stuff. You as an adult, you're not doing that. But you're not religious, but you consider that to be something unethical, And then you're crying and you come to people like you, like imams, oh, my son is lost or my daughter is lost.
Please speak to him.
Please speak to them. And like,
definitely.
Yeah, he's still wearing the same Ronaldo shirt. And I mean, I'm not saying something wrong with wearing a Ronaldo shirt, but it's like you've instilled that culture in them.
Definitely. Yeah, look. The parents come to you and tell you got to speak to them. Good, it's a good step. You've come to the imam or the sheikh and look, you got to speak to my son. But at the end of the day, what's been happening? How did you raise them? How did they get into that trap that now you can't? It's like in a shackle now. You can't remove it. You need the sheikh to come and do it. So definitely there was some kind of shay naqas, like something that you were not doing properly back in the beginning. So this is the problem is now. We're going to think long term.
Yes.
Which means that if ever I were to come and tell you, you want to become a good football player, definitely, as from now, when you're small, you start training yourself. So that when you grow old, you become like a proper football player or a hockey player or even a cricket player. You're not going to say, let me wait when I grow old, then I'm going to then you'll never be perfect.
That's amazing.
But if ever you're going to ask each and every individual on the face of the earth, what's your goal in the akhirah? Nobody will say Jahannam.
For sure.
They all would say Jannah. So definitely, Jannah, for you to get Jannah, it always starts from now. Why your record book, starts as you become baligh. Let's say 13 years old. Somewhat 12, some even 9, 10.
11,
so
9, 10.
Why? It showed that here your life starts.
So the angels are already writing.
They start writing now. So
once
as from now,
returned, puberty, you've hit puberty.
Now, once you turn puberty, your record book is opened. That's the time. So it showed that now you need to take things seriously.
So I mean, there's people who are 25, 30 still messing around. You're talking about a good 15 years of angels writing.
Yes.
And you think you're still a kid and you have a lot of time to improve later on and so on.
Yes, I would say it's the fact that, let me tell you something, the parents nowadays, they're scared to speak about the subject which is the destroyer of pleasure, which is death. The parents themselves, they're scared to speak about that. Even if the kids bring it up, they'll be like, don't speak about death now.
Right.
No, you need to let them know that anytime you can die. Anytime I can leave the world. So how do you make, as a father, you make that son of yours who had just turned 13, 14, 15, how do you make him someone responsible that if tomorrow something happened to me, he's able to take care of my wife and the daughters in the house. But the thing is, no. We still...
Let them play, let them relax, let them enjoy life.
Let them enjoy.
What does that mean anyways?
This is it. The life, dunya mata'. وَإِنَ الْآخِرَةَ هِيَ دَارُ الْقَرَارِ. For verily the akhirah is permanent. This dunya is temporary. فِي لَعَبْ وَلَهُ. There are vain talks, vain games, and all plays in there, but we should know that that age from 13 to 19, this is the time where you decide what you're going to do from between 20 and 30. Whatever you do in this time is going to reflect of your age between 20 and 30. You used to be someone, let's say for example, alhamdulillah, you grew up in a Muslim environment. You will memorize the Quran. You will go into halaqat. You will visit the masajid. You will go in this masjid and that masjid. You would have the love of the imam, the love of the muaddin. This is what you love to go to the masjid. You will see that person whenever he has to make his choice, when he's going to make his choice for university, you will see he will want to be the leader of the Muslim. They will want to choose this path. I want to be an imam. I want to become hafiz of the Quran. I want to follow the steps of Umar bin Khattab, of Ali bin Abi Talib, of Khalid bin Walid. But the problem is, nowadays, we need, what I would say, there are some questions that the teens need to pose themselves.
Right.
Some fundamental question. Number one, who is my role model?
Yes.
Number two, if I die now, am I going to Jannah? What's my purpose of me being on the face of the earth? Those are the things that if you sit and think, now khalas, you're 15, 16 years old, you can think by yourself. Because you already told your mom, don't advise me.
Right.
Yes, I can do things. Okay, now think by yourself. If I die today, am I going to Jannah? Remember that we had lady who was 18 years old and she was narrating hadith. She's the biggest ulama, biggest alima, Aisha bint Abi Bakr.
No.
When Rasul passed away, she was 18 years old.
Subhanallah.
Don't think that Islam is only for all people.
All people. Abdullah ibn Abbas.
Abdullah ibn Abbas.
Abdullah ibn
Anas
Umar.
bin Malik.
Anas ibn Malik.
Anas bin
Yes.
Malik. Young. This is the prime time. You people, you are, or you youth over there, you are the leaders of Islam.
But
Yeah,
again,
you
they
choose
don't
it.
feel, you talked about the role models, right? We had shows before talking about role models. But youth will say, and I talk a lot to my students, like, where are the role models? Because there's nothing tangible, right? I mean, yeah, you'll talk about Umar Khattab, you'll talk about Khalid bin Walid and so on. But, when something's not very tangible, you can't see it, you can't, even the avenue of studying about them sometimes are very, hard. We have to understand here, we're in a competition, right? You have Umar Khattab competing with Messi, or, the competition, not them competing, but you know what I mean, right? There's a competition as to, Messi's being marketed left and right. Okay, let me restate that so people don't, I'm saying something silly that Umar Khattab is competing. What I'm saying is there's a competition in terms of the role model, who's the role model, right?
Yeah.
And how they're being marketed.
Who they should be taking.
Yeah. So the youth are sitting there and they see Messi all the time on TV, everywhere, Messi, or whatever. I'm not picking on Messi necessarily, like I have an issue with him, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's like this role model, which might not be very Islamic. I'm not saying something bad or anything like that. And then you have Umar Khattab, right? So they see a certain, role model, or a singer, or an actress,
they can
or actor.
see it. Yeah.
Okay? Not just that, it's on newspapers, on magazines, things that they're exposed to willingly or unwillingly. Okay? It's a culture. It's there in their face, and it's a repetitive effect. So obviously it rubs on. While Umar Khattab radiallahu anh, he's not, mashallah, our ulama and everyone are doing a great effort of teaching people, but we also have to look at it goes just beyond just your traditional dars. It goes now to like we are actually in some kind of a role model war that we as Muslims need to really push forward in teaching a program, something educational where people can start feeling like closer to Umar Khattab. They can hear more Umar Khattab. They can just the availability there, whether his name or whatever, people can Omar, Omar did this, Omar did, when you keep, that happens now, they're like, oh, who's Omar, I need to know more about Omar, right?
Yeah.
And then people themselves will be interested in that. Messi, people are interested in Messi. Omar, people are not that interested into Omar. If you were to take a survey from Muslim youth and ask them a few questions about who Omar is, most people would not know. Most people would not know, right? So this issue of role models is like, it's a battle that we as Muslims have to fight, because you have to understand, when youth, we tell them, no, this is wrong, don't follow this actress or that actor. They'll say, so who would I follow then? Follow the Prophet. Okay, that's very, it's quite general, right? We need to be very specific. We need to give them things that are challenging. Oh, how? Well, you should follow him in this and this and this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We need to put more campaigns, social campaigns of like, be like Muhammad, be like Omar, be like Hamza, be like,
Yeah, definitely. We people as imam and teachers, we have to know how to approach them. We can just say, okay, you had to be like Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, you had to be like Umar bin Khattab. Well, now we're in the 21st century.
Yeah.
We're telling you to take the akhlaq.
Yes.
Not asking you to dress like that. At that time it was different. We're not asking you to ride a donkey or ride a horse and go to school. No. Take the akhlaq.
Yes.
How they used to be truthful. How they used to, like, respecting mothers and fathers, your parents. And how they would study.
Yeah.
How they would study the deen, study the Quran and the ahadith.
I mean, yeah, that's such a good example. Like, whenever we talk about success in business, right, we will say, be like Bill Gates, or be like, this person. I mean, there has to be something when it comes to education, study like, Anas, or study like this, or, do you know what I mean? These campaigns where, again, they will link it. Because when we think about Sahabas, we just think about history.
Yeah.
Past, old.
It's true.
Okay? When you think about new faces, and you find it, some of these actors and actresses, right, singers, they are open fasiq. On their stage when they're performing, they're making fisq left and right, right? That's how they make them. And still, our youth are blinded because obviously it's attractive. The reality is that that's what it is. It's attractive. Yeah. However, those same people will have feed the poor campaigns, and so on. So people, they get into abuse. They have certain social projects, and and they're popular, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to name people, but it's very, people, I'm sure they know what I'm talking about. You can list a few. But when we do social projects, anywhere in the world, whatever it is, feed the poor, you don't find the label of Islam being attached to them.
No.
Or the label of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam being attached. Or donate or help people like Ali radiallahu, or like Hassan, where we know the story, they used to carry bags of flour or whatever,
Talha,
like Talha, things like that, what I mean? Like, be like them, Now slowly certain things are here and there, like there was something, a video like be like Muhammad or some nasheed, but you know what I mean, right?
It's very true. I mean, we need to educate them as well. We need to educate them, and it's not that once we wait for them to be like 15, 16 years old, or when they go to university. No, this has to be before this. Let them from the beginning of the teenagers' years. Now, we know about the four Khulafa al-Rashidun. We've studied what happened in the history. Instead of telling them to read the other history that are not true, read what happened at the time of the Abbas Empire. About how the Mongols came, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, the four madahib. They will love it because it is very, very interesting. But when it comes to...
But at the same time, it's not a subject in high school where you can be like leadership according to Umar Khattab or something, like a subject in high school, not Islamic studies, but a subject, like they have business, like business ethics of Uthman radiallahu anhu, like a whole course where you can be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
based on the model of Uthman radiallahu. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Where it becomes an actual course. You have business, and when you look in the books, it's like, you know, Rob so-and-so, and Bob so-and-so, and Bill so-and-so, and Jimmy so-and-so from this, you know? That's all you see, right?
Yeah.
The successful this, and this corporation, this company. You know, we have to understand that. Like, Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, for example, would be someone who could give all his wealth, and then within a week, he would make that all back, you know? Like that was his, like, skill, you know? Do we have research in that? How did he do it? What did he do? You know, put it into, like, a course where people can, like, sit down in a professional environment somewhere, in a 5-star hotel with, like, you know, PowerPoint or whatever, you know, where you have, like, a seminar, you know? Which, you know, it'll be, you know, we treat it very, it's like cheap, you know what I mean? Isn't it? I don't know, I'm just speaking right now.
It's very true, but you know what the thing is, look, the thing that I've noticed as well in the masjid, I myself once after Salat al-Jum'ah, I give the translation of the khutbah. First we give the one in Arabic. After the Salah, we give in English. And once I told them, and I look up, and I said, tell me now, in this masjid, where are the youth?
Yeah.
Where are they? Salat al-Maghrib, forget Fajr. Maghrib, Isha, Dhuhr, Asr. Okay, Asr, Dhuhr, they could be in the university. Maghrib and Isha, where are they?
I'll tell you where they are. They're in the mall.
They're
at the movies,
Allah
cinemas.
Either they are at home,
or at home.
they got something controlling them, which is their phone, or we could say the internet. But another problem here is, when I was speaking, look, me and you, we grew up at a certain age. But back in the days, you would find the youth, they would wait for the salah, that my age as well, we will wait for salah so that we can go in the masjid and meet the brothers. After salah, we'll speak, we'll pray. After salah, we'll speak, we'll pray around, we'll wait for salat al-Isha, and then we go back home. We had the connection with Allah Azza wa Jal, with the house of Allah Azza wa Jal. Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, what did he look for? Look for the Kaaba. And then, رَبِّ جَعَلْنِي مُقِيمُ الصَّلَاةِ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِي. When he left over there, this is why he said he made dua for his offsprings. Because the attachment of yourself to the house of Allah Azza wa Jal, this is what make good generation. This will make good offspring that come in the future. But that was back in the days. And you would tell your mother, you're going to the masjid, they'll be so happy. Go to the masjid and come back. Go to the masjid, you're meeting someone, great and fine. But now, if ever your parent, seeing you going to the masjid 5 daily prayers, it's a question mark.
It's a problem. Even
Are you speaking to the imam? Did the imam tell you something? Do you know anyone over there? Anyone who's keeping big beard? Be careful. So what's happening is shaitan is playing with the parents. So if your kids are not getting any kind of support from you as parents, know that shaitan, you have fallen into the trap of shaitan. They need to get the love of their parents. Alhamdulillah, my kids are going for salah. They're waking up, going to the masjid for salat al-fajr. You need to show them that you are happy. Don't tell them that. One of the problem as well is we tell the kids that if you're not doing something for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, then don't do it. You see, you're going to the masjid for your friends, so don't go. Let them go. This is how we brought up. Even though the man is they're going to the house of Allah Azza wa Jal. Even though they're going there to meet their friends, and then they're making the salah, they're coming back. Let them. Don't put in their mind that they have, yes, they have to know that, yes, they have to go there solely for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. But it is, if ever you know they're going there to meet their friends, let them go. Let them have the connection with Allah Azza wa Jal.
The niyyah can,
it will change.
But to get...
But to tell them not to go there, no, you need your intention not good. No, you're going there just to meet your friends, so don't go stay here. No. Let the house of Allah Azza wa Jal be like their second home. What did the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said? One of the benefits of being a good Muslim in your youth is on the day of judgment. When it will be hot. People will be sweating until their knees, until the ankle. But there will be only 7 types of people that will be in the shade of the throne of Allah Azza wa Jal. And one among them, that a youth who used to be in the remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jal. A young person who grew up in the obedience of Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah didn't say old. Allah said, the Prophet didn't say old. He said a young person, a youth. And then he said someone whose heart is attached to the masjid. So, no problem. Let them go to the masjid. Let them have the environment of the masjid. Let them do some voluntary work in the masjid. Nowadays, parents, if ever the imam asks the kids to do something in the masjid, the parents will come to you and say, who do you think my kids are?
Cleaners.
What you think are the cleaners? Back in our days, I would say my two brothers, may Allah reward them, they would wait for Eid, because before Eid they would go and paint the masjid voluntarily, and they would have fun. And they grew up while doing this. But nowadays, no, it's not like this. The parents are happy for their kids to be at home, but they don't mind what the kids are doing on the internet. But they just don't want that, because they don't want that. Oh, you're going to the masjid, you have to go with your father, but you can't go alone, because they fear of what's happening, like what the media has put in their mind, that they might have the Imam Iyad. Okay, Imam Iyad is graduated from there. He's got a big beard. Oh no, Jibreel like this. No.
Or it's the beard,
And now something else as well. If your kids start growing beard, no, don't do that, son.
It's a big problem.
No, you won't be able to go to Egypt. You won't be able to go this place. You want to go in that place. There are many things, because we know even in the West, if you, like how we are now, we get down, that is reality. They're gonna stop you. They're going to ask you for everything. So,
well, the Muslims are not, they're not growing their beards right now. But in the West now, the non-Muslims are growing their beard.
But now, look how it is. Not only the beard. Now you see it's becoming fashion now.
Fashion, the short pants, the beard, all this.
You find the football players, basketball players with a big beard, and it's like a fashion. And even you can...
But still the Muslims are not doing it.
Yeah. And even you find sisters are covering their hair.
Yeah.
For fashion.
For fashion,
Covering the guy, because you will see today, tomorrow, these fashion, we don't say fashion, the attire of the Muslim is going to go, because that was the asal. That was the origin.
For sure.
Our forefathers, this is what they were wearing. Even Mary used to cover, and this is going to come, because people will start to realize the more they cover, the more they be natural, the more respect they get.
Yeah, mashallah. We're going to take a short break, inshallah, and we'll be back with the time to please Allah on Huda TV.
Please Allah, a chance to gain reward I will spend on you, he says.
TV commercials motivate viewers into immediate action and to sway consumer loyalty from one brand or service to the other. That's why we're here for you, to help you sell your products and services by using creative ideas that bring life into your own TV commercial. Advertise your business and branded products and services on Huda TV. We will offer you fast-paced and energetic 30-second affordable TV spots. Advertise on Huda TV, acquire fresh customers and stay within your budget. For more info or to receive a quote, please send your inquiries to advert@Huda TV. Huda TV.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. قالوا أجئتنا لتأفكنا عن آلهتنا فأتنا بما تعدنا إن كنت من الصادقين. له ملك السماوات والأرض وإلى الله ترجع الأمور.
فلما رأوه عارضا مستقبل أوديتهم قالوا هذا عارض ممطرنا بل هو ما استعجلتم به.
أخا عاد إذ أنذر قومه بالأحقاف وقد خلت النذر من بين يديه ومن خلفه ألا تعبدوا إلا الله إني أخاف عليكم عذاب يوم عظيم.
فيهما عينان نضاختان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان. فيهما فاكهة ونخل ورمان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان
بلى فهل يهلك إلا القوم الفاسقون.
Sent from Allah to an angel then to man. That man was Muhammad, the best of creation. A time to please Allah, a chance to gain reward. I will spend on you, he says.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Welcome back. A time to please Allah. We remind you this is a live show, so we need your feedback, input. Give us a call, inshallah. It's been quiet for the past few shows. We didn't get any phone calls. And I know people are watching, alhamdulillah. We're talking about youth. We're trying to discuss the issues that youth are facing these days. And inshallah, we're going to spend the next segment of the show giving some advice and some issues that, on some issues that youth are dealing with today. And in reality, subhanAllah, I was telling my students today, I like to tell them that I understand you. Because it's not easy for them. They're being bombarded, man, with fitna, every day, every night. They're being, and they admit it. They're like, yes, teacher, you're right. It's not easy, especially when it comes to obviously gender relations and so on, girls, boys, and so on. So I've addressed some of those things today, because see, it's easy to say, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He gives alternatives, halal alternatives, and that's what I think we as a Muslim community sometimes we fail to do, and that's why a lot of the youth, of course it's a responsibility that they have to take on themselves, but sometimes they move away and they're not interested in Islam because, okay, you tell me this haram, this haram, this haram, I cannot do this, I cannot be with friends outside, I cannot listen to music, what's the alternative? What can I do? Right? So that's something that we need to look at and think and offer programs and involvement because, literally youth are bored. They're active people, they want to do things. So when they don't have an avenue to waste that energy, to spend that energy, let's say, they're going to look for something there, it's like, and especially, let's be honest, I talk to my students, grade 10s, grade 11, I'm like, you guys are men. Yeah. Some of you have facial, hair, you got beards and all that. I'm like, you guys are men. You're not children. And you have desires, you have questions, you have things that you want to do. But when you're being treated as a child, right, then it's very frustrating,
Yes.
You will act like a child then.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
So, how do we provide halal alternatives?
Look, we've got to understand that Islam did not come here and put a barrier to enjoyment. No. Allah Azza wa Jalla, the thing that He made haram, first of all, it's a test. And secondly, it is going to be harmful for you. It is going to be any kind of thing that you want to do. You want to do this, you want to do that. You see your friends doing them, and you know what I'm talking about, and you're like, why my parents are not allowing me to do this? Because why Islam is I think Islam is difficult. Because they don't look at it long term. And the parents has not.
Well, they equate Islam to parents. They say, okay,
yes.
It's usually the blocks will be usually by parents.
Yes.
Especially they always ask, why is girlfriend, boyfriend haram?
Yeah.
And this is a 15-year-old boy, 16-year-old boy, and he's a grown-up man. His parents say, no, you have to wait, and this and that. I understand, there's circumstances and so and so.
Yeah.
But again, the question is, as a parent, do you like when you told your son wait, or your daughter wait, But a lot of them are not waiting. They'll take the avenue that's the easy one, right?
Yeah, but that thing we should know in which environment we are.
Right.
That is it, it's environment, and who are the kind of friend they're befriending. This is because المرء على دين خليله.
No.
You will be upon the religion or upon the step of your friends. No matter how, your teachers, how good you are in the house. But those parents, they don't know what they're doing in the school.
Outside,
Because sometimes when they come for the parents-teacher meeting, they could be shocked. You know what I'm saying? I never knew my kids were like this, or who would say something like this. Yeah, because the school, 8 hours they are here.
Yeah.
You don't know who they're befriending. So you should know who they're befriending. You should know when you're telling them something is haram at home, but when they're coming back home after school, why do you find them trying to do it? So there should be something wrong. So we should, as parents and as teachers and as imam, we should get close to them. They're 19, they're 18 years old. We should get close to them. They come to the masjid, speak to them in a very nice way. Let them love the deen. Don't make them run
feel
away
like
from
they're
the
also
deen.
respected, right?
Exactly, because now we're in the 21st century. We have to know the way of approaching. They're going to come with different kind of questions.
And
You need
issues.
to know how to answer them. If everything is straight away, you're going to say, bang, it's haram, this is haram. No. Even Allah Azza wa Jalla, He didn't say, like, for example, liquor or alcohol. First thing He said, وَإِثْمُهُمَا أَكْبَرُ مِنْ نَفْعِهِمَا. The benefits are less than the effect. It gets bad effect.
bad things, yeah.
So then later on Allah Azza wa Jalla said, don't pray while you're in a state of, while you're drunk. Then afterward Allah made it haram.
Yes.
So step by step.
There's
But there's no, you cannot compromise in the deen.
For sure, no compromise.
This is it. Some people may be thinking, okay, no problem, he can go for a party.
Right.
No, we can. No, those are the trap of shaitan that we spoke about a month ago.
Right.
That's shaitan come to you. You start with a party. You start with, okay, the parents will be there. Later on, only boys will be there, or only girls will be there. Then later it's going to be mixed. Okay, no problem. So what? Okay, listen to some music. No, we can't be too extreme, But no. See, when they're small, you already tell them music is haram because of this.
Right.
Alcohol is haram because of this. Eventually, today or tomorrow, you're going to regret. But why
give the
started?
hukum and the reasoning with it.
Exactly.
Not just, okay, haram.
Yes,
Haram.
you have to approach them in a very, very nice way. And even if you were to look at let's say, for example, someone, and we know sometimes I would say myself, the imam, they get pretty upset when if someone has come inside the masjid, let's say he forgot to switch off his phone,
Subhanallah.
or he came in with a vest, or he came in with a picture on his t-shirt, or he came in with a kind of short that when he's making sajda, so it's coming up a little bit. So we, as imam, we should know how to approach them. Make them love us.
Subhanallah.
Make them come to the masjid again.
Like the Bedouin who peed in the masjid.
Yes.
Prophet
The Prophet Muhammad
Oh,
when the
yeah,
Bedouin came in, the Prophet said, Da'u, leave him. Because if you pull him, what's going to happen? He's Bedouin. He's Bedouin. He might get upset, he might leave the deen, or he might just appear everywhere. Leave it. So then you, as an imam or as a teacher, sit with them.
Allah.
Speak with them in a very nice way, so that tomorrow they come again. I remember after Salah, the phone was ringing, and the imam, he got really, really upset. And that person, he forgot to switch it up. It happens sometimes.
It happens, yeah.
And he felt so bad. So how would he think that? He didn't want to come to the masjid anymore. The day he wore the vest in front of everyone, he spoke that no, wearing a vest is no good. And you're not pointing at him, but everybody knows you're speaking about him.
Right.
He's not going to come and show his face again.
For sure.
And it is said, one of the sheikh, I forgot his name, if I'm not mistaken, I think Mufti Mek or Sheikh Asim, he said, he brought an example of the people who came to the masjid, or young guy came to the masjid, and he made a mistake. And the imam found him. The imam shouted at him. And then he left the masjid, he never came back. He never came back. But the same person who went to the bar, by mistake, the cup in which he had the the alcohol, the liquor, fell down. By mistake, what did they do? They went back, they gave him one for free.
Another one is. Subhanallah.
And then he kept on going to the bar every day. So you see, akhlaq, behavior plays a very big role.
Subhanallah.
People believe when they are teachers, they're the chief. No, sometimes we have to get ourselves, lower ourselves.
True.
وَخْفِضْ جَنَاحَكَ. Lower yourself sometimes you have to, with your kids, with your students, with the people whom you're in charge of, because then they will know you do care for them. And always give an ear whenever they want to talk. Always listen to what they have to say. And always be open that they can come and ask you a question. If ever they come and ask you a question, 1, 2, 3, and then you get fed up, then they're going to come to you, they're going to ask the people
Their
outside.
friends, yeah.
And us as teachers, we should, the teachers are listening as well, we should tell our kids. Sometimes some of the subjects they don't want to speak to their parents. They are shy. Haya.
Right.
They have to be shy sometimes. Sometimes they get really shy. They don't want to go to the dad and mom
Yes.
and speak about puberty or what's happening. So then you open that for them. Say, come to me. Anytime, especially me, I'm teaching the kids of, let's say, 12, 13, 14.
Yeah.
Today this is going to happen. So once it happens, they don't know what is it. So we educate them.
Yes.
You're like the big brother.
Yes.
Any problem happen, they're coming to you. Anything happening, they're coming to you. They have a role model. Like how you said in the beginning, they would love to see a role model instead of just listening and reading.
Right.
But let them take you as a role model.
Right.
Oh, teacher Jibril. Or everything, teacher Iyal. So they've taken someone. So we have to initiate this, that they take you as a role model, and you yourself, you have to be very good. And speaking about role model, we got to understand, or the brothers down, because look, we were not born 29 years old or 35 years old. We passed through that stage.
We did. Yeah.
And we have to understand that the Prophet said, if you من تشبه بقوم فهو منهم. Whoever imitates someone, you're going to be among them. To me, it is a problem. Someone wearing the shirt of Ronaldo and Messi or Neymar or those kind of players, to me, you're actually making their shi'ar. You're actually praising them.
Right.
If ever you're putting their shirt on you, it will have an effect on you. Yeah, you play everything Ronaldo. You play, you celebrate like that player. You play, you score, you celebrate that this. You got a very good talent. Allah Azza wa Jalla is giving you beautiful talent. You say, I imitate Ronaldo. But you put that praise on. No. Be yourself and follow those people who, when you look at them, they remind you of the akhirah. The Prophet said in the nearest hadith, the best of friends are those when you look at them, they remind you of the day of judgment. Those are the people who you should befriend. And we should know that time, you cannot buy time. I myself, I know, you will find people coming and ask me the rulings of salah and wudu, and they're 50 years old. And then they're like, Sheikh, our parents, we didn't get the education that you got. We didn't get this. Okay, I feel sorry for them. Alhamdulillah now, how many people out there, they're still not asking. They'll come and ask. But now, we all love to be hafiz al-Qur'an. We all will love that our kids be hafiz al-Qur'an, so on the day of judgment, our rank as parents will be elevated. It even said in one of the hadith that you will be given the crown. Even this hadith, some ulama said da'if, but see, we take good lesson out of it. You'll be praised on the day of judgment. So that's the time. Why now you're instilling in them that you need to become a doctor, I want you to become an engineer. You back of your mind, it's money. Then they don't know. My mom said, my dad said I had to become an engineer. But if you put in their mind, son, I want you to become a hafiz al-Qur'an. I want you to be an engineer and a hafiz al-Qur'an. A doctor and a hafiz al-Qur'an. You got that book in your heart, you know how beautiful it is. So if ever you will not memorize the Qur'an in your youth, when are you going to do it? If you're not going to attach yourself in your youth, when are you going to do it? If you're not going to attach yourself or obey your parents in your youth, when you're going to do it? After you get married? When you start working, you're going to start thinking of making hifz of the Quran? After you start working, when you have kids and wife, you want to go to the halaqat, you will not be able to. And then you will say, Ya layta ya'ud shababi. Or I wish my youth will come back. It will not come back.
Subhanallah.
You are the leaders of Islam. You are all those Usama, all the Ibn Abbas, they started when they were small. Anas bin Malik, it's not like they were waited to be 35 years old to be on the battlefield. Even before the Ma'arakah of Uhud, two small young boys, they were fighting wrestling in order to impress the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This why? Because their aim was what? Al-Jannah. Our aim today, we don't say our aim, we say the youth aim today is to become like Ronaldo and Messi, because how you say they've taken them a role model. But no, our aim has to be Al-Jannah. No problem if ever your kids, if you always thought of making them a doctor, and now you find out that your kids, or one of your son, he wants to go to Medina Munawwara, or he wants to go to Azhar, or he wants to go to al-Qura, or Jama'at al-Imam. Don't go and say, no. Praise him. Say, Alhamdulillah. Thank Allah Azza wa Jalla, thinking that way. Let them go.
Yes.
But this kid, he is your key of Jannah.
Subhanallah.
He is your key of Jannah. How many times you've got yourself tired, working day and night to make your kid doctor, engineer, anything like this, and then what happened in the end? They're a normal Muslim. But no, you want your son. You want your student. You want the people who worship behind you, want them to become the leaders of Islam. This is what you want them to become. And it is a big, for a parent to have someone, at least one. If someone has 2 or 3 kids, 2 or 3 boys, I would say one of them has to be Hafiz al-Quran. They have to be Hafiz al-Quran. Because you're going to have 3 boys and none of them are Hafiz al-Quran. This is my concept. It's nothing from Quran and Sunnah, but I believe you need to have someone in your house who is Hafiz al-Quran. Because that's the key of Jannah. It's not everyone get this. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to give us kids who become Hafiz al-Quran, so we benefit ourselves on the Day of Judgment. They become Hafiz, and then we benefit as parents and as teachers as well, benefit. So the main thing is your time. This time what you're going through now, that 1 hour of it, 5 hours in front of PlayStation, 2 hours or 3 hours or 24/7 in front of Facebook, Twitter and WhatsApp, this is actually taking your life away without you noticing. This is how shaitan come in. Later on you'll be like, okay, at the end of the day you start thinking, what did I do? All of them, we had to think that you had to believe the sajda of the young person, of a youth, is better than the sajda of those people who are retired. Because you have enjoyment outside, you have everything, you left everything for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. But we're not telling you just to leave them and just sit in the masjid. No. Enjoy, play football, go horse riding. You want to go somewhere out with your family, go with your family. You want to go out with your friends, go out with your friends. But choose the best friends. You want to go out for a meal? This is how the life is now. They want to go out for a meal? No problem, go out for a meal. But no, choose the best place and choose the best friends. You go out, you speak about Allah Azza wa Jal. It will be ibadah. There will be barakah in there. Go out with your family. You want to even go and travel. Go out, travel and see how Allah Azza wa Jal has created all the beautiful countries. For that intention, Allah Azza wa Jal will reward you for it. So to be not telling you to stay in the masjid 24/7.
That's the thought of
you will love it. At the end of the day, you will feel pure. You'll be respected. You'll be beloved in the eyes of Allah Azza wa Jal. And then when people looking at you, you have to understand when the kuffar are looking at you. The problem now we have now is that we want to become like them. We were supposed to make them look at us and make them feel that they want to be like us. We don't lie. We keep our promise. Punctuality. We always there. We are someone top of the class. We are people respectful. So we want them to look at us. I'm like, I wish I'd be like him. But unfortunately, what we do nowadays, we look at them. Because we believe happiness comes from smoking, drugs, girlfriends. No, nothing. Your happiness comes from the pleasure of your parents. Once you've got the pleasure of your parents, it is actually the pleasure from Allah Azza wa Jal.
Allah.
So we have to believe that way. We have to know Allah Azza wa Jal has given us parents, and they're taking care of us now. Once we're 20, 21 years old, we might get married. And then what's going to happen? Our wife is going to come and take the place of your mother. She will not be able to replace your mother, but it's another world. It's another life. We've got to understand. And we as parents as well. Don't put in your kids' mind that you need to have a house, a car, and you need to have a good job for you to get married. Straight away you put a long road in front of them. Okay, why am I going to get married now? 29 years old? 35 years old? It's a long way. Okay, in that case, okay, I know things are haram, I make tawbah later. Then they fall into haram. There's no problem in making your son, if you find out that your son, you find out something has happened, you want to make a nikah, make a nikah. You'll be safe in the dunya and the akhirah. They'll be safe in the dunya and the akhirah. He's 19 years old. He's 21 years old. So what? Make a nikah, they can meet, even though he is in your house, she in her house, no problem. Things are halal.
At least they're halal.
But this is what we lack nowadays. We are lacking nowadays. If ever I were to tell you something, 3 days ago, a brother came to me, he wanted to cry. The place where he was from, he told me, I want to get married, I'm 34 years old.
Allah.
And my sister is 35 years old. And I found a sister. And we were talking. And I want to get married to the sister. Neither my dad, nor my mom, nor my sister agree for me to marry now, because in their culture, the eldest one marry first.
Marry first. Yeah.
And then comes the second one. And then he told me I have a brother 28 years old and a sister 23 years old. So now, if that sister, who's 35 years old, do not get married, so what happened? And I told him, speak to your dad. Speak to your sister. And they were like, the sister, she's the one who doesn't want. I said, okay, tell your sister, if you don't want me to get married now, if ever I fall into fitna, that's on your head.
Allah.
You will share the sin,
Punishment, yeah.
the punishment. And I told him, give him some advice and everything, but I did tell him that you're a man, you don't need the permission of your dad.
Yeah, subhanAllah, 30-something. Of course I understand.
Yes, but he didn't want to go against his dad. But the brother is falling into fitna.
But you're going against Allah.
Yes, you're going against Allah Azza wa Jalla. It's very true. But the thing is, he told me, if ever I do this, they will cut relation with me, khalas.
Astaghfirullah.
It's a bigger fitna. So that brother wanted to cry. So culture plays a big role. Parents need to understand that when you were 30 years old, back in the days, that mentality that you have now, a 20-year-old guy, 20-year-old, your son who's 20 years old now, he has the same mentality. Life is open now. It's not the same as before. We need to know how to deal with them. When it comes, and the youth as well, they should know that it looks cool to hold a cigarette, but it's hot on the day of judgment. It's Jahannam. Forget that cigarette is makruh, stuff, all these kind of excuse. It is haram. Drugs, falling into drugs, running behind girls. Run behind them, you will keep on running behind them. And you will regret when you get married. You will regret.
For sure.
So all the things that Allah Azza wa has made haram, there is regret at the end of it. So in order for us not to fall in a trap, Allah has already put a barrier. And in order for you to be someone who will be loved by Allah Azza wa Jal, is to start your 5 daily prayers in the masjid.
Allah.
Remember that your sajda when you're making, they're way better than the sajda of those people who are free and they're doing their salah. Mutaqa'id, they're retired, they're making salah. Now you go in the masjid, unfortunately, you find old people making adhkar. The masjid was not for old people at the time of the Sahaba.
Akbar.
No. Back in the day you would find youth. But nowadays, no. You would see them, and you would see their haircut. You would see even their way of dressing. Role model, they were taking the wrong person as role model. We should know that put in your mind that nowadays more youth are dying compared to old people.
Yeah.
Put this in your mind. Accident, lungs cancer,
Yeah.
drug addict, people are, many things, accident. I mean, on the roads and speeding and everything. Imagine every day you hear 30-year-old guy passed away, 15-year-old guy passed away. No, don't think that back in the days, yes, we used to think that, well, he's 70 now, I think, yeah, if he passed away, it's not a shock. But nowadays, and Haraj, one of the signs of the Day of Judgment,
Subhanallah.
sudden killing, instant killing, lot of death you're going to hear. So it's happening. So we should know that, are we ready for death?
Subhanallah.
Are we ready to meet Allah Azza wa Jal? Whenever we're looking, shaitan playing with us, to look at the immoral website, to go into these, believe that Allah Azza wa Jal know that Allah Azza wa Jal is watching you, and know that if ever medical will come in this state, you're finished.
Allah.
With this we ask Allah Azza wa Jal
May Allah
to give us
subhanahu wa ta'ala
strength,
help us.
and to give our youth, our brothers and our sisters in that age, give them understanding of religion.
Yeah.
Want to have the understanding of Islam, they will love it, they will never leave it.
Subhanallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us.
Ameen.
This is, I understand, it's not an easy time, it's not an easy transition for the youth into adulthood. A lot of feelings, a lot of changes, and if we don't make it easy for them, we don't befriend them, this is not the time to beat your children, this is not the time to,
It's over.
it's over, and if you, this is the time to be like, yes, you're a parent, but a friend as well. And for you youth, I want to talk to you as well, obviously, this is for you, and you need to also realize that you're not a child anymore,
Yes.
you're a teenager, you're an adult, and you need to understand responsibility and so on, and it makes you feel bigger, it makes you feel more like an adult, like look, I need to take this serious, and I need to think about the akhirah, which is long-term planning, and if I want in between to have a good life, then I need to plan long-term, and I need to start getting, if I didn't get it when I was young, may Allah bless my mother and father, whatever, if they didn't realize it. But now I have the choice. It's my choice. I can choose. No one's forcing me. I've been conditioned and so on, but humanity has this power, this ability to be able to get out of that. Even though you've been conditioned, even though you've been addicted to something, you still have that willpower. SubhanAllah, Allah put in us that we can change. We see brothers who've gone and been in jails and such worse cases. SubhanAllah, you can never imagine addiction, so on. Yet Islam changed them.
Alhamdulillah.
And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us, help you, dear brother and sister, help you parents, and help all of us, bi'idhnillah, to earn His pleasure. And may Allah forgive us all. Jazakumullah khair. We'll see you next time on A Time to Please Allah next Thursday. Don't forget to check our Facebook page, like it, and share those videos, bi'idhnillah, so we can all get the ajr. Jazakumullah khair. This is Gabriel Al-Romaani. Inshallah, we'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
To please Allah, a chance to gain reward, I will spend on you, He says, on who's spending good cause. Good deeds are opportunities, sparkling bright and true, raising you in the sight of Allah, and adorning al-Jannah for you. So rush to earn His reward. Don't forget